Okay, this is my second shot at a video blog. It feels a little weird. I'm looking straight in my own eyes, and I'm almost on the verge of hypnotizing myself. Um, what I want to do is use an example of a sandbox. I've been challenged to do this by a book that I was recently given called Leading from the Sandbox. Basically, what it says is that organizations are like sandboxes. People come and play in them, people go to different sandboxes and play in those sandboxes, and each sandbox has certain characteristics that define it, that define the rules, the culture, the equipment in that sandbox, if you want to think about it that way. So if you consider a square sandbox, there's four sides. And what I'm doing is I'm asking myself some questions based on this model as if I was an organization. I am an organism, which is fairly close to an organization, I guess, so I think it's applicable. The first question, or the first side of the sandbox, is mission. Ultimately, what are you committed to accomplishing? So I'm asking myself that question. Ultimately, as a missionary in Romania, what am I ultimately committed to accomplishing? Basically, why am I in the sandbox? The second side of the sandbox is called the central ministry focus. The central ministry focus asks the question, what's the single most important thing you need to do day in and day out consistently in order to accomplish the mission? Um, the third side of the sandbox, so the third aspect, is guiding principles. Within your sandbox, what are the rules? What are the regulations? If you think about it organizationally or as an individual, what are the rules that you would allow others to come in and play in your sandbox? Or if you're going to go play in somebody else's sandbox, what are the things you're going to look for? Is throwing sand in each other's eyes allowed? Stealing toys allowed? To use the sandbox analogy. What is important to you? Those are the guiding principles of the organization or the individual. And then the fourth and final side is um, the culture. What's the culture of your sandbox? What is the feeling? What's the sentiment? What is the culture that will allow you to live by your guiding principles, focus on the central thing that you need to focus on in order to accomplish your mission? That's a that's the 2-minute version of a 200-page book that I just finished reading that was very helpful and challenged me to consider this sandbox thing. So over the next couple of posts, either video or written, I will answer those questions about myself as an organization.